No, look at the TV.
3 minutes. They're not on yet.
Come on.
Arthur, can I call you back in an hour and a half? Okay, bye.
Trying to get on. Give it research, right? That's your choice.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, viewers on the internet, Belmopan. Buenas noches, damas y caballeros, mis amigos, amigas, mi gente de Belmopan. Estoy aquí otra vez a comunicar con nuestro país, nuestra constituencia, nuestra ciudad, para asegurar que la mensaje de desarrollo de esta nueva revolución, la revolución que nuestro padre de la nación se prometió para la gente, esta revolución para asegurar que hay independencia de economía, economic independence. Eso es el objetivo del segundo revolución de nuestro partido. Si ustedes podrían verme ahorita, por favor, necesito ustedes a decir si hay la habilidad a oír y a ver. Otra vez, bienvenido. Mis amigos, durante esta campaña, estoy en la campaña para casi más que 2 meses en Belmopan. Me visitan las comunidades de La Ribera, Las Flores, Belmopan, Salvapan, San Martín y la capital. Y por todo lado, toda la gente está diciendo que necesitan inmediatamente y en el tiempo más pronto un cambio sustantivo para asegurar que nuestra gente podía mejorar la vida para ellos propios y su familia. Y estoy aquí para ser su campeón, para asegurar que todos podíamos compartir en los recursos de nuestro país para el desarrollo de nuestra ciudad.
Well, good night, everybody, and welcome again to third in the series, and after this week, which will be every Thursday night, to our online town meeting. We thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to sit and watch as we make history in the run for the betterment of the People's United Party. Good night, Mr. Saldiva.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Buenas noches a todos.
Okay.
Estoy invitando a toda la gente a pedir sus preguntas. Poner sus preguntas. No importa qué lengua. Well, yo solamente podría hablar 2 lenguas, inglés y español. Pero estoy invitando a todos para asegurar que nosotros podríamos comunicar efectivamente. Porque ese movimiento es un movimiento colectivo. No es un movimiento de un individuo. Es una continuación de la obra que empezaba cuando tenía nuestro representante Samuel Witt. Es un movimiento para los apoyantes de Sam Witt, los apoyantes de Amenegar, los apoyantes de Patrick Andrews. Todos somos importantes, todos somos especial, todos somos parte de la comunidad que quiere un cambio sustantivo. Y estoy aquí para ser su campeón en este movimiento, para asegurar que nos podríamos quitar este vagabundo representante John Saldiva. Es un hombre que no hay ni un cariño para la gente. Está poniendo con su gobierno impuestos, tope impuestos, para asegurar que el costo de la vida está subiendo mucho. Ustedes conocen el costo de la comida está subiendo, costo de medicina está subiendo, costo de gasolina, petróleo está subiendo. Y todo está subiendo solamente porque este gobierno se gastan la plata de República de Venezuela, 750 millones de dólares, de nada. No hay mucho para mostrar. Poco calles, vueltos, estas cosas. Pero en Belmopan, nuestra gente no recibía ni un trabajo. Ni un contratador de Belmopan tenía un proyecto de esto para construir calles y esa cosa. Y por 750 millones de dólares, como 15 calles recibía tratamiento aquí en nuestra ciudad, en el capital. Es una vergüenza. Es una gran vergüenza.
Okay, Atta. Tonight we have a number of people who are watching, and they are saying all the way from New York. You have Shancher Z saying hi to you.
Hello.
And we have Miss Aleman saying she can hear you well.
Gracias, Miss Alema.
Mr. Moses Saul said good night.
Good night, Moses.
All right. And we have Kevin Jones, who has come online with a couple of other people. All right. Tonight we want to bring a number of things to the forefront, and we have an hour tonight. We have decided to use just 1 hour each Thursday because we're on every Thursday. We are going to do a 1 hour program. One of the things we want to look at tonight is our progress in the race for you as standard bearer for the People's United Party. Could you give us a little update on that situation, Mr. Saldiva?
Well, as you know, the party came out recently with a decision as it related to myself and Mr. Patrick Andrews. A decision that was not necessarily in favor of the candidacy, but as I have maintained, I cannot hold any other organization to hold up their objective and purpose if I cannot hold the organization I belong to hold up to its objectives and promises laid out in its constitution. I'm a champion. I'm a champion of the people. That's what I do whenever I take on a case and go to court. I champion the cause of Belizeans who need my services as a professional advocate. So in like vein, I cannot be a champion of people if I cannot champion my own cause. And in this case, my own cause is not a selfish cause. It's a cause to ensure that the people of Belmopan has a choice. So today, documents have been prepared for filing so that we can have our day in court to determine whether or not the Constitution of the People's United Party is on the side of those individuals who seek ownership of the party, or is it on the side of the people who comprise the party? You see, the vision of George Price was a vision of people coming together to hold accountable those elected, to ensure that there is social justice, that the little man, common man, has as much say as the so-called big man. That's the George Price vision. You see, you don't walk with kings and maintain the common touch by being an elitist, by feeling entitled. You walk with kings and maintain the common touch by being true to yourself and understanding that everyone is important. So, I was not born to surrender. I was not born to quit. I was not born to give up. I was born to win. And I'm here to ensure that you can win. So we are going to test another pillar of our democracy. Because if we don't test it now, tomorrow may be too late. So test it we will. Test it we shall. And let's see where it leads.
Okay. Mark Steven wants to know how you are.
I'm doing quite well, Brother Mark. Thank you.
All right. And tonight we don't have much questions from the audience, but we have another introduction of good old production that we want to look at. Yes. All Belize and all organic.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. It's one thing to come here and talk to you about politics. But to talk to you about politics without talking to you about development and what's going on in Belize would be simply irresponsible. I'm holding in my hands, and I'm hoping that you can see, a bag of rice. But it's not just any rice. It's called yellow rice. Not because of its color, but because of a process that this rice has undergone. A natural process. This rice comes to us from 5 Star Rice. This is a company out of, I believe it's Blue Creek. But the rice has gone through a fermentation process. As it was explained to me, rice has like 3 parts. The husk, the bran, and the nucleus, which is the starch, right? That starchy part. Well, in this particular rice, the bran and the starch has melded together, making it a healthier rice. This rice has not been sprayed with pesticides and insecticides. It is as organic as it can get. And I'm told it is the most flavorful rice on the market. It was introduced to me and I'm going to introduce it to you and ask you to support the rice. Support our food security. I was told today that there are many farms in the Spanish Lookout area and in the Blue Creek and Shipyard area that are closing down. Closing down because many farmers banked on Petrocaribe, on that 750 million. So I was visited by a number of farmers from the Mennonite community, and they are expressing to me that within 5 years we could be in some very serious problems here in Belize, where homegrown food is concerned. And they are putting the blame squarely on the shoulders of the government of Belize, saying that whereas they were encouraged by the large influx of capital that Petrocaribe represented, and they went out and they borrowed, they were quickly shocked into reality when it was discovered that this money was not there for them and they could not meet their balance of payments at the banks. They blame also the fact that they have not been able to get their produce out to market due to the way Baja and the political directorate have been issuing import license for agricultural goods. Ministers have been putting their friends and family ahead of the interest of the farmer, large and small. And they have basically created a situation where we're importing most of our food products that we can actually produce here at home and have been producing at home. So, with this reality, farmers are going out of business. This does not bode well for our development. A country cannot develop without its own supply of food. So this is something that we have to address and look at carefully. I'm telling this to you now because this is a fish from river bottom that came to me and told me what's going on.
Okay, Marissa, one moment. Marissa says there is no songs. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, can you hear us now? Are you able to hear us now?
Could you indicate whether or not I'm being heard?
I am not sure. Wait, let me see.
Am I being heard presently?
Hearing you, yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Sí, estaba explicando que me recibía una visita de un finquero de las Menonas, ¿no? Y esta persona estaba explicando que hay un gran problema en el futuro, que va a tener un gran problema en el futuro con la seguridad de comida en nuestro país. Dice porque hay mucho de las fincas en Spanish Lookout, Blue Creek, Shipyard, que está fracasando, ¿no? Y los finqueros están vendiendo sus máquinas y todas las cosas de las fincas. Esta gente está diciendo que la razón para esta situación es que el gobierno de los rojos, estos brutos, están poniendo sus compañeros y su familia enfrente de la gente, enfrente de los campesinos. Y ustedes conocen que hay gente especial que está recibiendo licencias para importar papas, cebollas, arroz y todo eso. Y por eso esa gente está llenando el mercado con productos de afuera. Y los campesinos, nosotros no podíamos vender sus productos al mercado local. Eso es un gran problema. La gente está diciendo que en 5 años, es muy pronto, en 5 años, posiblemente hay una crisis en el sector de agricultura aquí en nuestro país. Y esta gente, como Dimbaro, Jan Saldiva y los otros payasos en el gobierno, no está haciendo nada. Eso es.
Okay. When we're looking at the overall economy, we heard on the news this week that our Prime Minister said he can't put down the price of the oil, not even $2, because we are dependent on it to pay public officers and to ensure that we are meeting our monthly expenses. The situation that we find ourselves in, Arta, is such that at the end of the day, it seems as though we are hemorrhaging. We're living hand to mouth. And yet our government is saying that things are going well.
Well, I don't believe that they are so stupid to suggest that things are going well. Here's the situation. More than 50% of the cost of fuel is taxes. Now, when you understand that, you can appreciate the fact then that the only reason why we are being taxed so heavily on fuel is because the government understands that fuel is something that we cannot do without. In order to move from place to place, in order to cook, in order to do most anything, move food from field to market, we need fuel. So they are basically taking the entire population hostage. And they have put their hands so deep in our pockets that we are basically working for them. When this should not have had to be. If only the Inbaro and the UDP invested the Petro-Caribe dollars properly, we would not be in this position. What is most wrong about all this is that the Inbaro, John Saldiva, Edmond Castro, and all the other UDPs, they are not feeling the pinch. They get fuel for free. They just drive up to the pump and your taxpayer dollars pay for their gas in their vehicles. What I would want you, the people of Belmopan, to do to change this situation, because it's something that we have the power to change. And this is why this town hall is a call to action, because we've had enough talk. It's time to do something about this. We cannot continue to sit and take it. Last week alone, we had 2 hikes in fuel prices. The week before that, 2 hikes. 4 hikes in the span of 2 weeks. I'm asking the people of Belmopan to do a park in. And I'll explain what a park in is. We are the capital. This is the capital of this country. It's the seat of parliament. It's where the cabinet meets every Tuesday. We want a park in from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Melado Parade. Bring your cars. Line the parade. Shut down your car and lift the hood on Melado Parade, preventing the cabinet from getting into their office to have that cabinet meeting next Tuesday. I'm making the call from now. Come out with your vehicles, park on Melado Parade, line it up, block it off. Have the Prime Minister and his cabinet understand that they need to do something about the cost of fuel. If investment were made in the productive sector to allow for us to have an increase in imports, diversification of our economy, we would not be in this position now. If Petro-Caribe dollars were spent wisely, prudently invested, we would not be in this position now. But they have used the Petro-Caribe dollar for their own personal gain. And as a result, they are asking you to foot the bill for their excesses. We see how many houses Boots Martinez now owns. Do you think he bought those houses on his minister's salary? We see how they are living. Do you think they can afford that on just the minister's salary? Do something about it. Belmopan was made to thrive. We were made to lead. And as a result, we must set the pace for the rest of the nation. Melado Parade, Tuesday morning, 7 o'clock. Bring your vehicles, block it off until midday.
Call to action. Talking about fuel and our economy, what we see more and more, especially because fuel has gone up, you've seen the prices of goods going up, and everything else that you have to do your basic necessities, you find that those things are now going up. At the end of the day, yes, we will find ourselves unable to meet the daily necessities in our homes because we are being held ransom. Another thing that people can start doing is try to practice things like carpooling, and whether we like it or not, walking. It's good for health too.
It is. Now, the problem that we have in Belmopan, and I believe across the country, national issues. But I want to stay true to the cause that I'm here about. And that cause is Belmopan. Its future, its development, its representation. Belmopan has had many hard-working, dedicated PUPs who has been represented well in the past. We were represented primarily by Honorable Samuel Witt, who gave us great service and addressed the needs of his people during his time, and was beloved by many in our city, and is still beloved. I'm here to tell you, those supporters of Sam Witt, that I'm here for you. I'm here to continue and improve upon the work that Sam started. We also had in the past persons like my good friend Dr. Amin Ega, who once represented the good people of Kaya West, and he then came to Belmopan to assist us in getting from under the yoke of this red government.
Okay, Mr. Contreras is telling you that they have started blocking your signal. Wonder if this is a start of a sabotage. We should have very good internet connection, but for some reason you can see a dip in the feed that we're getting right now. So I'm not sure what's happening out there, and a number of reports you're breaking up. So they're trying to find ways in which you cannot
La cosa que pasa es que toda nuestra gente son importantes. Toda nuestra gente necesita representación. Toda nuestra gente necesita asegurar que conocen que un futuro mejor está viniendo. Estoy aquí para luchar hasta el fin, con toda de mi energía, con toda la fuerza en mi cuerpo, para asegurarnos que nosotros podríamos tener la habilidad de elegir la persona que quiere elegir. No necesita ser yo que va a ser esta persona, pero la habilidad, a tener la habilidad a elegir la persona que usted quiere es importante. Es el derecho democrático que todos necesitan en esta democracia. A mi gente de Las Flores, bienvenido. Y estoy aquí para asegurar que ustedes conocen que en este programa usted está importante también. Mi gente de La Herrera, esta semana usted podría ver que la alambre venía en la comunidad para asegurar que estas 35 casas, estas 35 familias que no hay electricidad en La Herrera, va a recibir bien pronto esta utilidad para asegurar que los chiquillos podían estudiar en la noche para hacer sus tareas y esa cosa. Estoy trabajando duro para asegurar que podía acumular los recursos para asegurar que ustedes recibir este servicio. ¿Así?
Belmopan. ¿Qué hay para la gente de San Martín y Belmopan?
De la gente de San Martín y Belmopan y Salvapan.
La Rivera también.
Pues me explique a la Rivera. Nosotros conocimos que parte del gran problema en nuestra ciudad es que demasiado de nuestra gente no hay trabajo. Y hay un vagabundo representante que no está haciendo nada para asegurar que la gente tiene trabajo. Este hombre, si usted no va a ser una policía, si no va a golpear la gente, abusar la gente de la calle, él no quiere ver a usted. Ese vagabundo solamente electrical cables, and you heard me correct, underground electrical cables. I do not understand for the life of me why in a hurricane prone area we would be having telephone poles and electricity along electrical lines, because whenever there is a hurricane there's the likelihood that we will lose power. So I have invited a technician from Belize Electricity Limited to come into La Rivera to look at the lay of the land, to make the determination and the sketchings for the excavation of trenches for the burial of underground electrical cables for the 35 families that we seek to provide service for in this time. So we have acquired the cable. We are going to be having a meeting on Friday of the men in the La Rivera community for them to join with me to start the process of excavating the trenches. This is a community self-help project to ensure that the children of La Rivera in those 35 homes don't have to be in Roaring Creek or Belmopan late in the evening or at night to do their homework. Light will be offered from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. every night. We are hoping that with this initiative, Belize Electricity Limited will find the conscience to extend electricity soon to those people and hook up to the lines that we are going to be setting down. So yes, I hope to have more news about this next week Thursday. I hope to be able to tell you next week Thursday that the power is on. That's my goal for next week, to tell you, the people of Belmopan, that 35 families or some number of that have their power on. we're working. And I must thank the team to elect Arthur Saldiva, the committee, for their assistance in this process, because only together can we accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves. We cannot do it alone. We have to do it collectively. And this is a collective movement. It's not a one-man show.
We need to apologize for the poor reception. A number of people are explaining that you're breaking up. That part is out of our control. We have done this before and we never had problems, but for some reason tonight, it seems that BTL is giving somewhat of a trouble. And we will make sure that next week we try to, as much as we can, ensure that this does not reoccur. We will make sure that we check with BTL. And if the technicians from BTL watching, please note, Ms. Williams always complains, but it's funny that we don't have a lot of options in our country when it comes to internet.
You see, I was explaining, we've been trying to operate from our underground bunker, and they have found us. They found the bunker. They have found the bunker, people. They know where I'm at now. So they have targeted me for disruption, but we will continue. We'll soldier on.
As we always do. All right. We also want to look at some of the things that are happening as far as Belmopan is concerned. We note that it's the time of graduation, and we know that a lot of students now are looking for little summer jobs.
Yes.
Just this week we saw a number of parents trying to get jobs, and we want to announce a new initiative that we are trying to do, especially for business people within our community. If you have little jobs available, we would want to help to link those people with their
Yes.
And so that and we have people now who are bringing in their different credentials, what they are able to do. At the same time, we're trying to get people to see if there are businesses in Belmopan, or anybody who in Belmopan have a little job cutting the yard, maybe a little painting and things like that. We are trying to do a linkage. So contact our page here, or send us a message so that we can try to help those people who are trying to help themselves.
Right. As you know, we've had in Belize this culture of buying the vote. It's one that I discourage. It's one that I will never promote. As was explained, we've had many people come to us seeking financial assistance. And when I say us, I mean the committee to elect Arthur Saldiva, not just myself. What we have engendered to do is, instead of giving persons money, is to trade money for services. Persons are mason, we have them on file to do masonry work. Carpenters, we have them on file to do carpentry work. During this graduation season, many people needed help to pay off fees so that their children could graduate. I know how important that is for families, and especially for fathers, to be able to sit in an auditorium, in a hall, watching your child take that step to collect the diploma, to go from childhood to adulthood, and how proud a parent feels in that moment. I could not turn away those people who requested assistance for that kind of purpose. But it has been made clear that whatever assistance I give, there is an expectation that service must be given thereafter. And we are holding out hope that when you in Belmopan have your work to do, if you're building a fence, if you're building a cabinet, if you're doing something in your home for which you need somebody to assist in that work, somebody who has that skill, we have a list of names of persons in the community from the various communities of Belmopan who have that skill. They have come for assistance, and we have been keeping their names so that in the event you, the resident of Belmopan, who have a job but don't have somebody to do the job, you can contact the Committee to Elect Artists Saldiva, and you will be getting a recommendation of a person to fit that particular criteria that you're looking for.
Señora Arthur, aquí la señora dice Victoria López, si mi gente demos una oportunidad al abogado, tiene grandes planes para este país, o este país Belice. Apoyamos el primero confiando en el Rey de Reyes para un cambio verdadero. ¿Qué tiene para decir la señora López, señor Saldiva?
A señora López, puedo decir muchísimas gracias para su apoyo, y estoy en acordamiento en todo, en esta obra que nosotros estamos. Es primero Dios, porque solo con Dios nos podíamos hacer las cosas que estamos haciendo, y conocen que hay la habilidad hacer muchísimas cosas, pero solamente soy un individuo. La única manera que yo podía hacer todas las cosas que necesita hacer para asegurar que la gente recibía un mejor futuro es si todos nosotros veníamos juntos en este proceso. Es un proceso colectivo, es un movimiento colectivo. Con su apoyo y el apoyo de toda la gente que quiere un cambio, nos podíamos hacerlo.
Bueno, gracias.
All right, Mr. Novello writes that he has been having the same problem with BTL, and when the end of the month comes, even though he's not getting the service, they still charge him the same fee as if he had gotten it for the full month. He reported 3 weeks ago. He visited the office 3 times and nothing. So it seems that other people in Belmopan are having the same problem with BTL.
Well, again, we know that by virtue of the quote-unquote Ninth Amendment, Mr. Barrows said that he acquired BTL for us. But lo and behold, it is Barrows Telecommunications Limited, not Belize. They own it, we don't. Only when you own it can you put your son, who did not even finish university, to run it. Those are the bricks. That's why I'm telling you, Belmopan, we need to come out on Tuesday, block Melado Parade, conduct a park-in. I will be there with you. If they take me, they take me. I'm going wherever I need to go. But Melado Parade, I'll be there at 7 o'clock with my truck parked on Melado Parade.
Mr. Steven says, Mr. Saldiva, registration is soon. What can be done? All hands on deck.
All hands on deck, Mr. Stevens. Again, this is another effort that I'm calling on the people of Belmopan to pay keen attention to and to come and support. This is a call to action. I need you. I need you to take pictures, because everybody has a phone, a cell phone. Take pictures of the houses on your street. Take pictures of the derelict houses, the empty lots on your street. In Belmopan, there are 297 streets. 297 named streets in Belmopan. On the voters list, there are 10,175 voters. We know many of them are not from Belmopan. So if you, the interested person who wants to ensure that our democracy is fair, is representative, is above board, if you want to stamp out corruption, we must start with the cleaning of the voters list. So I want you to take pictures of every house on your street. You can forward those pictures to my page or the pages of the members of the committee to elect Arthur Saldivar, because we're all in this together. What we want to be able to do is to ensure that when the time comes and John Saldivar seeks to bring the people from the villages back to register in Belmopan, that we can identify where he is seeking to put them so that the challenges can be made effectively in court to block that from happening. The genesis of corruption in our system is the padded voters list. If you're against corruption, if you're against the wasteful spending in government, if you're against the neglect in your neighborhood, in your community, in our constituency, then I'm asking you, I'm imploring you, I'm compelling you, get on board, all hands on deck. I would want you to take an active interest in who is coming to register at the registration office on the middle sidewalk, right there next to the parking lot for Belize Bank. That is where the registration office is. Come out, take a look, make your presence known. When you are there observing what's taking place, it's going to be more difficult for John Saldivar to sneak the people in. We have to provide the oversight. If we don't provide the oversight that we need to ensure that the list is clean, rest assured we are going to have a greater problem in the next election than we had in the previous elections before. So if we want to have a fair chance for a new day, for a better day, for a change, come out, make your presence known, re-register, and ensure that only residents of Belmopan can register. You know what they say about roaches? Roaches scatter when you turn on the light. You are the light. Shine it on the darkness that John Saldivar seeks to keep us under.
Okay, we have to say hello to Miss Nesia Carrillo in Barbados. She said she has been watching 3 weeks straight. So good night, Miss Nesia.
Good night, Nesia.
All right, and she wants you to know that she likes what you're doing. We conferenced earlier this week. We also want to look at the lots, the lots that are empty, to ensure that people don't use that as their address.
Yeah.
We have a number of empty lots here in Belmopan. So that is also very important.
We have derelict homes on Hamburger Street. And we know Hamburger Street is the street where John Saldivar grew up. And on that street we have the house of Mr. Burns, who long since passed, that has about 30 voters. 30 voters in one house. You see, these things happen because many of the persons that have run in Belmopan don't know Belmopan. And John Saldivar has been able to get away with this. And again, those that have hijacked the People's United Party are seeking to give him another gift. I cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow that to happen. We should never allow that to happen. The question is, will the good people of the PUP allow one man to take down the entire party. That one man being the man making these undemocratic decisions. Because the buck stops at the top. As I've said before in a previous town hall, the fish rots from the head. Are we going to allow this one person to sabotage the entire party for another election? No, I think not. Not if I can do anything about it.
We're coming close to the end. We have about 3 more minutes to go. However, Francis Jonathan Marr Hancha says, politics will never change the world. Do you agree with that statement?
I don't know about changing the world. I want to see change in Belmopan. But I will tell you, there was a man who went to Jamaica in 1962. He went from a little island called Singapore. A little island that is so small. The Maya mountain range is bigger. A little island so small. It has only one river. A little island so small that it has to buy water from Malaysia. That man went to Jamaica and he took the economic development plan devised by William Arthur Lewis for Jamaica and returned it to Singapore and implemented it in Singapore. That man, Lee Kuan Yew, took Singapore from a third world country in 1965 to a first world country by the year 2000. From a per capita income of less than $2,000 per capita and a population of 1 million to a population of 3 million persons and a per capita income of $20,000 per capita. Yes, politics may not change the world, but it can change a nation. You see, I'll tell you, the founding father of Belize, George Cadle Price, in the Belizean prayer outlined, may all our endeavors tend to peace, social justice, happiness, the increase of industry, sobriety, and useful knowledge. Those are the building blocks of the second constructive Belizean revolution. The second constructive Belizean revolution is the revolution for economic independence. That is what I seek. That is what we need. And that is what we are here for. The second constructive Belizean revolution. Economic independence.
We have one more question from Ms. Carrillo. Will naturalized Guatemaltecans be asked to register in light of our constitution?
No, they should not be made to register. They are not qualified to be Belizeans and they are not qualified to vote.
Okay.
The whole issue of naturalized Guatemalans is a misnomer. There is no such thing as a naturalized Guatemalan. By virtue of the constitutional prohibition, Guatemalans cannot legally or constitutionally be naturalized. And we need to ensure that everyone understands this.
All right, and then Shanzar Z says, I hope to see the empty lots within Belmopan get clean. Some just clean. It's due to spite. Well, Arthur, we are wrapping up the hour. It's just a little bit after 9. Is there any parting words that you'd like to leave our Belmopanese with tonight?
Well, we have many issues on the front burner in Belmopan. In Belmopan, again, I call you to address the issue of fuel prices. Many of our residents drive. Many of our residents commute to work. We want to be able to send the message loud and clear to the Deanborough Cabinet on Tuesday that enough is enough. I invite you to a Park Inn at the Melado Parade, the main tributary leading in to the administration building where Cabinet meets. We want to block it from one side of the ring road to the next side of the ring road. Both entrances we want to block and fill it with vehicles in between. We should not allow anyone to pass that area until after 12. This is a vehicular protest. Belmopan, let's get it done. All hands on deck.
Señor Sardiva, ya estamos llegando a la hora ya. Como gente de Belmopan, ¿qué nos puede decir para si quiere ir a dormir esta noche tranquilamente? Como sus últimas palabras.
Sí. Estoy explicando a toda mi gente, toda la gente de Belmopan, los belmopanís, que este martes estoy invitando a toda la gente que hay vehículo a venir para bloquear el camino de Melado Parade. Este camino que está a la entrada del edificio de administración, donde el gabinete tiene sus reuniones, para asegurar que nuestros líderes conocimos que nosotros somos cansados del precio opresivo de petróleo en nuestro país. Es una situación de gran vergüenza porque cada día, cada semana, el precio está subiendo. Por eso estoy invitando a todos ustedes que tienen sus carros, sus camiones, sus buses, cualquier que tiene, venga y parquear al medio de este camino, de un lado hasta el otro lado, para asegurar que nadie podía pasar de 7 de la mañana hasta las 12 en la tarde.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And until next week, Thursday, I say good night.
Thank you.